The women routed Towson on Tuesday night. Can they keep that momentum throughout the non-conference section?
Can Hokie football finish strong in one of the roughest rides in recent memory?
And what did that strong second half say about Mike Young's team?
We got all that and more coming up on today's edition of the 3304 Sports Crossover Show.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Center for the Arts. So glad you could join us all. Landon Weaver, Robbie Ackerly here on the second edition of the Crossover Show. And Robbie, women's basketball tipped off last night.
What an opening night for the squad. Landed 100-56 inside Castle Coliseum. It was a huge margin of victory, and to go with that, some massive individual performances.
Yeah, you think about Mel Daly, Kyla Freelon. How about Kale Peterson? 17 points, a career high, and a 10-rebound performance, a double-double for her.
A decisive victory, a dive into the depth, and a rockin' Castle Coliseum defined the Hokies tip-off. But for more on the Lady Hokies and for Megan Duffy's sequel season, our very own Luke Brill.
The Virginia Tech women's basketball team has kicked off what promises to be an exciting 2025-2026 season. After finishing 19-13 last year with a balanced 9-9 mark in ACC play, the Hokies believe they're ready to take the next step. Head coach Megan Duffy, now in her second year, will lead the charge with a cast that is bigger, deeper, and more talented than last year's squad. Familiar faces such as longtime guard Carly Wenzel and forward Karis Baker return for another year, joining a growing cast of newcomers from the portal and recruitment. But not all the preseason news was positive. Coach Duffy announced last week that freshman guard Kate Sears will miss the entire season due to a foot injury. It's a tough blow for a promising newcomer, but Duffy says team depth will be key in stepping up to fill that gap. And it is that depth on display right away. In their season opener, the Hokies rolled a 100-56 win over Towson at Castle Coliseum. Sophomore Kale Peterson led the team with 17 points and 11 rebounds, while transfers Kyla Freelon and Mel Daly both added double-digit points in their first starts at home in Blacksburg. Looking ahead, Duffy's team faces an array of challenges. Next up, Tech will stay home to take on Loyola Maryland this Sunday at Castle Coliseum, which is another opportunity for the high-flying squad to build confidence and chemistry before competition ramps up later this month. With heavy-hitting ACC teams like Duke, Louisville, and North Carolina on the schedule, it is important for the Hokies to get off to a hot start that can carry them into these daunting conference matchups. Overall, the goal for the Hokies is clear: to play in March. After missing the tournament last season for the first time in 5 years, they want to be back. Despite many analysts writing them off as a middle-of-the-pack team, this roster believes they have what it takes to make some noise. And if the Towson game was any indication, the fans in Blacksburg could be in for a real treat this season.
Great stuff, Luke. Landon, basketball season finally here in Blacksburg, but football still in full force. A rough one this past Saturday for the Hokies.
Yeah, they had a 16-7 lead early on, but weren't able to hang on late.
Yeah, let's take a look at the highlights from that one.
First possession for the Cards. What can Brown do for you? To the house, 7-0 Louisville.
Way too easy there for the Cards. Virginia Tech defensive line, just a gaping hole, and an easy 7 points there for the Cardinals.
How about the quick response from Drones and company? A quick scramble into the end zone and we're tied.
Philip Montgomery loves to run number one, Landon. So big, so strong, easily fights his way into the end zone on that one.
And then again, the Hokies down the field, a quick screen pass out left to Selden, fighting his way into the end zone. Hokies on top, 14-7.
How about Selden? You see the Hokies draw up plays from him all the time for a reason. A converted running back to wide receiver. He is so dangerous with the ball in his hand, Landon. Look at that one more time, just fighting his way into the end zone.
Miller Moss was ready to respond. How about this strike down the middle, finding his man Lacey in the end zone. Touchdown Cards, and we're tied again.
Number 7 and number 5 just in tandem there, Landon. Miller Moss drops back, sees his read, immediately rifles it. Great post route there by Lacey, straight to the numbers from Moss, and that's an easy touchdown.
Hokies forced the punt on the ensuing possession. And how about Lacey again, receiving it at his own 33, and there he goes, evading almost the entire Hokies secondary, working his way to the left side of the field, now down the sideline, all the way down to the 1 yard line, diving for the pylon. Can't get the touchdown, but putting the Cardinals in good territory.
Little reverse beamer ball there, Landon.
And right after that, Cardinals were able to punch it in. They're on top 21-14.
Seems as if the Hokies from here on out just can't get back in the driver's seat, and Louisville looks like they're controlling this one.
Late in the game, different Browns, same result. Cardinals will take it 28-16. was a tough one to swallow for Montgomery and company, but now they have some other games to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely landed a tough pill. You're up 16-7 at halftime. It seems the Hokies just can't get out of their own way with these third quarter, fourth quarter, late game collapses.
It's been a challenging season for the Hokies, but the squad has 3 more tests to fully determine if Montgomery and crew can pass the test. For more on the upcoming schedule, here's Anya Donapanini.
Virginia Tech football has 3 games left this season, and each matchup tells us something about where this program stands and where it's headed. Florida State, Miami, and Virginia. 3 opponents, 3 very different challenges. Here's what to expect as the Hokies close out the regular season. Florida State continues to be one of the ACC's most explosive offensive and defensive teams. Their run game is powerful, setting up big play opportunities through the air. When they get rolling, they can score fast and from anywhere on the field. The Hokies will need to stay disciplined defensively and avoid giving up chunk plays early. Even if an upset is a long shot, competing physically and sustaining drives would be a strong sign of growth. And if that's not tough enough, things don't get easier the following week. Miami enters with one of the strongest defenses in the ACC, especially up front. They excel at stopping the run and creating pressure in the backfield. Add in the transfer quarterback Carson Beck from the University of Georgia, along with standout receiver C.J. Daniels from Louisiana State University, and their offense has a much higher ceiling than the previous seasons. For Virginia Tech, limiting turnovers will be crucial. If they can control possession and avoid Miami's defensive momentum plays, this becomes a chance for a signature win. Then the regular season wraps up with matchup that always means a little more. Virginia has taken a noticeable step forward offensively, thanks in part to a stronger transfer class and a much improved rushing attack, one that statistically outperforms Virginia Tech's. Their offense is balanced, efficient, and capable of long drives. And in a rivalry game, confidence matters. This matchup could decide bowl outlook, playoff outlook for UVA, off-season narrative, and of course, Commonwealth bragging rights. 3 games, 3 different challenges, and 3 opportunities for Virginia Tech to finish stronger than they started. These final weeks will show what this team can build on as a new era approaches in Blacksburg.
Great stuff, Anya and Robbie. Even though the football team may not be doing as hot as many fans would want them to be, the basketball team got off to a hot start.
Yeah, they definitely had some hype coming into the season. Obviously, Neo, a huge international pickup, and they had a pretty decisive victory over a mid-major school, Landon.
Yeah, 98-67 victory, and Lowell and Hansberry both put on big-time performances.
Well, we saw it on display with big-time returners, big-time newcomers. This Mike Young squad is loaded with highlight reel-worthy talent. For all things Hokie men's hoops, it's Hayden Tolbert.
Hokie Hoops tipped off their new season with a statement win against Charleston Southern 98-67 Monday, and it was a comfortable win for Virginia Tech as it was a group effort from a team that's mostly different from last season. With only 4 returning players from last season, Virginia Tech has added an experience from the portal, college basketball-ready freshmen, and even players from overseas. A big focus for Mike Young and company was getting bigger, and they did that as returning center Toby Lawal didn't skip a beat from leading the team in scoring last season as he totaled 20 points against the Buccaneers. But he wasn't alone, as transfer from West Virginia, Amani Hansberry, was already made a huge impact in the paint using his strong frame to get to the rim. The duo is going to be a force in the ACC as they both bring unique skill sets to the court that I am sure will be tough to handle for any opponent. Now, it would be a disservice not to talk about freshman guard Neo Abdallas. The moment he stepped on campus, the energy skyrocketed for Hokie Nation, and it isn't just hype either. In his debut, Abdallah shined, tallying 8 points and 9 assists, and although he hasn't blown fans away in the scoring department, he has shown that he can open the floor and dish the ball out like a prime John Stockton. And with only 1 game under Virginia Tech's belt, they will be faced against a strong non-conference opponent in Providence, in which both teams will be trying to make a name for themselves in their respective conferences. Back to you guys.
Great stuff, Hayden, as per usual. And Landon, before we wrap up here with basketball starting a few days ago, college basketball, I want to get your thoughts on the landscape of things. We've had some crazy shakeups, Florida getting knocked off, Auburn getting dragged into deep waters with Bethune-Cookman. What's going on here?
There's a lot going on, Robbie. Duke taking down Texas, Debancia playing well for BYU, but how about Hawaii Pacific, a D2 school? I mean, come on, man. It's a D2 school, and Boise State lost to them. That's a crazy performance something that they'll have to rebound from as the season progresses. But you know what? It's only game one.
Yeah, only game one, but one of the biggest upsets I've seen in a long time in college basketball.
sure.
I mean, anything can happen in college basketball, they say, but a Division II school beating a team receiving votes, top 55 in the KenPom, that's nearly unheard of nowadays, especially with all this NIL money. But like you mentioned, a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of great stuff going on around the country. I'm so excited to see what's going on this year in basketball.
Well, college basketball is an exciting time, but that's where we're going to close the book on this chapter of the Crossover Show. For our reporters, Luke Brill, Anya Donna Panini, and Hayden Tolbert, he's Robbie Ackerly. I'm Landon Weaver saying so long from the Center for the Arts.